So I'll get rid of that. Excellent. Welcome everyone. We are live. Welcome to our little lunch and learn, as I like to call them. And welcome if you're listening to our podcast as well. So I'm joined today by Sam and Jodie from the company Houdsly. Welcome. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're all good. Are you?
You having a good week?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a very good week. It's just so very busy at the minute, which is amazing. But yeah, a lot to get on with.
Do you find that is your business like seasonal? Like some groomers sort of say summer's quite busy and then Christmas is mental, and are you like that at all?
Last year, I'd say so. This year it's been a lot steadier, like a lot steadier. It's been much busier in general, but then the quiet times aren't so quiet anymore.
We normally find sort of August is our quieter month, which is like great for me because I've got 2 kids. So it means I can normally balance Hounsly and the childcare quite easily, but this August, not so much.
I have actually challenged one of my clients to book August off, and she was like, "I can't do that. I can't book August off. What do everyone do with their dogs?" I was like, "Well, it's a bit of planning, and I'm sure it would work, but there's a challenge, isn't there?"
Yeah, imagine.
I'm not sure Sam would let you.
No, I don't think you would.
We leap before we run, so perhaps for those of people that don't know who you are or have not come across you at the trade shows or not seen your website, perhaps you can introduce yourselves and let us know what you do and how you do it.
So basically, we make pet products. We're natural, vegan, sustainable. We try and keep everything as sustainable as possible. We use aluminium bottles rather than plastic. The plastic we do use for the 5 litres is all post-consumer recycled, and we've just swapped one of our other suppliers to a company which specialises in preventing ocean plastics. So it's plastics that would have ended up in the sea being recycled and used for that. So everything we use is human grade, so it's suitable for us. We started it because I've got a grooming salon as well as doing this, and I'm super clumsy. So clumsy, it's untrue. So all of my spray bottles would end up on the floor with the top smashed in. So I used to sort of pull the product onto my hand, pat it on the dog, and then within 2 days, my hands were flared up like you wouldn't believe. Like, I ended up having to go to the doctors. And so I thought, if that can do that to my hands, into the dogs, and that sort of kicked off the Hounsly movement.
Sam is absolutely amazing at coming up with ideas and being creative, and he's probably one of the most clever people I know I've ever met. However, doing anything with them ideas, not forte. So we were sat in Germany, weren't we? We've gone for a little mini break with the family. Yeah. And we were sat in my granddad's favourite little bar called Funk House. And Sam said to me, "I've got this idea, but I know I won't do anything with it. Do you fancy coming on board?" And I said, I'll give it a go. And then it sort of snowballed from there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Sam, I didn't realise that you were a groomer to start with. How are you still in business at the moment?
Yeah, so I've been doing it now 16 years. So my mum was a dog groomer, so that's how I got into it growing up. And then I took over the salon when I think I was 19. Mm-hmm. I'll still do that as well on top of this. So it's daytime at the dog groomers, about 3 o'clock, come over to Hounsly. So it's a bit full on, but it's brilliant being able to keep sort of my toes wet in the industry to perfect with the products, to see how they work in the salon and what the staff think of it.
And I think from like an ideas perspective, Sam knows what he would want as a groomer, what he wants the shampoo to do, how he wants it to smell, what he wants. Your big thing like for the shampoo is he loves a good foam. So we make sure our formula is thick enough so it's a really foamy. I mean, you can see it on our unit. As he says, he's very clumsy. So if sprinklers went off in here, I think we'd have the biggest foam party you've ever seen. So that's been really handy.
Yeah, and also the value of time in the salon. Yeah. Like if a product can make something easier or quicker, then it's a no-brainer. So that's all of our products, all of the shampoos have got to be able to rinse quickly. They've got to be able to lather up so you can work efficiently, know where you've cleaned, know what's left to clean. Products like Dynamite and Detonate, the quick dry and the detangler to speed up. So if you can save 5 minutes a dog and you do 8 dogs a day, it's nearly an hour you've saved. So,
and you've got an awesome testing ground there, haven't you, for new products and new ideas?
yeah, it's really handy because a couple of my friends are dog groomers as well, and we've got a brilliant team of ambassadors. So we've got such a good, I can get hands-on with the product and use it myself, and also we've got really, really well-experienced people that can test and feedback and what they like and what they like to see better. And so it's really, we're really lucky to be in the position we are.
Yeah. So when was it? When were you in Germany and sort of said to Jodie, I've got this idea, but it's never going to take off? What year?
Lockdown, wasn't it? So
lockdown.
Probably the summer before lockdown, and then so we sort of started it when we got back, and it kind of trundled along. But Jodie worked full time with the NHS.
Can I also just say it trundled along because Sam is getting better, but trying to get him to commit or make a decision, even on the name, took us probably about a month, and it got to the point where I said, I can't just pick a name, and when you've decided, let me know, because I'm very much like, I like to get things done and crossed off and ticked off and ready to go. Sam is more creatively minded, so he takes a little longer to, the little things he'll pick up on, and things that I'm like, it'll be fine, don't worry. Sam is like, no, it's got to be this. So in the end, I said, when you've figured out your name, let me know when I'm back in.
So Sam is the artist and you're the agent, sort of.
Absolutely, that's exactly right.
So obviously you've grown up. You've grown up within the pet grooming industry. Your mum being a pet groomer and stuff. What was that? Did you think when you were leaving school, I'm just going to follow in my mum's footsteps, I'm going to take over the business? Or
no, I used to want to be a maths lecturer.
Really?
Yeah. So went to college and did maths, philosophy, law, and psychology, and then I worked for Greenpeace for a while, and then from there, I think the reason I started getting back, because I used to, as a kid, obviously, you go and help, don't you? And so started that, and it was only when I was probably 18 where it was like, well, actually, I'm already doing this part-time. So
I know why you got into it, right? Because she tried to get me on board, and I love dogs, I love Houdsly, but dog grooming just isn't for me. It's just not for me. I'm not creative enough. I'm not
a bit too squeamish.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd finished college, and the lady who worked for my mum had a really terrible bike accident. So she was off, and she rang me and said, I need you to come in and help. So I did. And then she was like, can you see yourself doing this forever? And I was like, I love you very much, but no, not for me. I'm very proud of you. I think it's amazing, but it's just not my bag. So Sam came into work at that point, and he just took to it like a duck to water. It's just him. Yeah.
It's really interesting as well. You got that Greenpeace connection there, because when you were saying at the very beginning about using, recyclable items and not giving back to the oceans and stuff like that, that's a very strong sort of cause, isn't it? And is that where it's coming from?
Yeah, 100%. It's always been even in year 4, I used to be part of the Eco Warrior team in school. So growing up, it's always been something I've been really interested in, and I think obviously as time's gone on, it's becoming more and more important.
Definitely.
So that was definitely one of the things when we first started. It was like, this has to be the bare minimum of minimizing any single-use plastics, making sure absolutely everything's recyclable, making sure that we have the smallest impact we possibly can. Yeah. Even now, the shipping services we use, we check the carbon footprint. Mm-hmm. We make judgments of what suppliers we use based on their environmental and sustainability criteria. So that has been the driving force for us, really.
And that is not going to be an easy thing to do. And that's probably, there's a straight way to do things. Then there's the sort of environmental way, which probably takes you around all the way around you must really sort of struggle and take a lot of time to find these suppliers and companies and materials.
I think Sam is really good at when he is into something, when he has an idea or he's focused on something, he is focused. He has to know the ins and outs of everything. And it's been like that since he was a kid. Like there is, growing up, he didn't just like something, he knew everything about it. So in terms of finding these sustainable companies and making sure we keep on top of that, it's actually not as difficult as it sounds, because there's nothing that he doesn't really research or know.
Mhm.
So for me, it's felt very easy because Sam knows it all. He tells me everything, and before I can even get the Google search up, he's like, oh no, I already know this, and I found this, and this. So it's just who he is, his nature.
Yeah, it's good. And you'll be building those contacts now as well, won't you?
Yeah, we've got like I said, the prevented ocean plastics that soon the logo will be on all the packaging, it'll be on the website, and so it's finding resources like that which really helped. Obviously, they now have a huge sort of database of other companies that are involved in similar. So it does get easier the more you do it, but as with everything like that, it comes with a cost. It's a more expensive way to do it. Like the aluminium bottles, aluminium's the most easily recycled material. It takes less energy and there's less byproduct from recycling aluminium, and it's infinitely recyclable. So that's why we chose the aluminium bottles, whereas plastic, there's a lot of wastage, it takes a lot more energy. And also a lot of dog groomers don't have recycling facilities. So obviously you have to pay for an extra service to be able to recycle. And if you only got a few bottles a month, a lot of dog groomers won't be able to afford or warrant that expense. So even if you're chipping everything out in a recyclable bottle, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be recycled. So you still end up with the plastics in landfill. And so that's one way we've tried to avoid it.
I suppose that's disappointing when it comes to the councils, isn't it? Because I know we have a commercial salon. So to start with, we were putting our dog hair and stuff into a garden waste bin to sort of compost down, but they would never let you have a recycling bin like you would at the house. So we have to pay, like you said, we pay for a waste company, and you kind of put your faith a little bit into them sort of doing it and recycling it for you, but.
And also, when you look into the recycling process, there's a lot to be improved still. It's like a lot of people complain. In fact, a lot of people complain about that top now attached on most bottles, because you can't recycle anything smaller than like a credit card. So even if you put that in your recycle bin, it gets filtered out and sent to landfill because you can't recycle it. Whereas that's meant to be the way to help recycle it. But even down to coloured plastic, it's just a minefield. So the smallest amount of plastic we can possibly use, we do. Even down to the labels on the bottles. I know from the front of our bottles, they look bare for the rest of it because we do only have one label on, because there's no point in, if we put 2 or 3 labels on, we're tripling the amount of plastic. It's just.
But again, that I suppose that kind of goes against society in a way that, as humans, when we go shopping and stuff, we're used to all these like fancy labels and fancy colors and loads of information. And like you said, they might come and look at your stand and look at your products and go, oh, it's just got a tiny label. Are they just starting up? Are they brand new in the industry? You know, so it kind of puts you at a disadvantage at times.
Yeah, you can do.
It does, but we try and make our products. We obviously have the colours that represent Houdsly from the Pride flag, don't we? That's something that we've always followed. Nice and bright. So we try and make, even though our bottles might not be as extravagant or as sort of, what's the word, like decorated as some, our products are really
commercial.
Yeah, and we put a lot into the branding, don't we? Making sure that we've always wanted to be obviously eco-friendly, keeping everything as natural as possible, but fun and what we're trying to say, like approachable and friendly and kind, and that's the sort of business that we've always wanted to create. So even if sometimes our bottles maybe lack a little in label.
But it's good, you know, doing things like this, it's good to spread that message, isn't it? And to tell people, well, there's a reason why we do that. It's not because we're scrimping and saving on packaging and labeling. There's an actual reason why we want to do this.
Yeah, so true. And it's one of them things where once people have used the product once, they don't care what label's on the bottle. They sold. So it's that initial sort of being faced with something that's a little bit different. Because obviously nobody likes change, really, do they? It's a big thing, especially as a dog groomer, to change your products. It's a big jump there because your customers are used to a certain product, you're used to using a certain product. So we get that is a bit of a stepping stone, and that's why we love doing the show so much. So you can get face to face with people and have like conversations like this and explain why we do things the way we do. Literally 99.9% of the time, everyone's like, "Yeah, right,
let's
do get it."
I wondered if your thoughts around your aluminium bottle. Obviously, you want people to recycle them. Your mum might remember when they used to recycle the lemonade bottles. Used to get like money back if you sent them back to the company. Is that something that you looked into, or is like shipping and like miles is not worth it?
It's a problem, isn't it? It's
cost and carbon footprint is a lot. But we do like eco refills. So a lot of salons will have refillable litre bottles or 5 litre bottles to refill customers' products for them. So they'll bring a product back to the groomers. They'll get a top up for a certain price rather than a whole new bottle. So we were looking at doing a refill service for the 5 litres, because the 5 litre jerry cans are difficult for a dog groomer to recycle. But again, it's the carbon footprint of posting everything about. But so everything's a balancing act at the minute.
And I think because it has escalated and grown so quick, sometimes we're constantly chasing our tail a little bit. So we have loads of ideas for refill, like refill stations at shows, looking into doing something like that. But at the minute, finding the time to do that is proving almost impossible.
You'd end up with like an articulated truck turn up with all these like 200-gallon tubs of shampoos to refill you. It's such a minefield, isn't it? You're trying to do your best, but sometimes it's just too difficult, or it's so expensive.
You've got to pick the best that we can at the moment, and we do sort of we always looking to take the next step into the next level of sustainability. And the next, like when we use the paper tape, that was something that wound me up for ages, having to use the plastic tape. But at the beginning, when we were tiny, even the dispenser was like 300 quid for the tape. So trying to justify spending £300, it was.
And the tape is so much more expensive, and we'd be like, right, we've sold this much today, so we can order this many rolls of paper tape, but just be really careful with it, because it does grow, doesn't it? And that becomes the norm, like the really easy thing to do. But
there's no workshop pranks with paper tape. It's too expensive.
Sam's got to leave that alone.
You're not taping each other up and leaving yourselves overnight. You're like, no, costs us a fortune. So how quickly did the idea come about? I take it you had a lot of time over lockdown to sort of think about it and put.
I think for us, it was ticking along just before lockdown. And I had another business, so I used to own a bridal shop with my mum. We sell wedding dresses. And she was retiring from that, and we just started from Houdsly. And so I'd got a part-time job with the NHS just to sort of tie me over. And then lockdown hit, and Sam had all the time in the world. And you're going to tell me, what was your office over lockdown?
I spent most of the time in
a hot tub
with lemonade.
He's
in the garden with the dogs. It was lovely.
But he was able to then sort of put loads into it and really advertise, and sort of, we did packs that groomers could sort of do. We call it a keep and clean kit. So it was a soap and a perfume, and groomers would sell it in their salon, but we'd do the drop shipping. So they wouldn't even have to have the products delivered. We would deliver them directly to their customers.
It's when groomers had to close as well. So groomers still had a bit of an income because they were using their social media to sell the kits. They take the orders, they place the order with us, and we ship it straight to the customer. And that was like the beginning of it. But like I said, it's all about time at the beginning, getting your ideas, actually making something of your ideas. It's all well and good, everything being sat in a pad, but until it's on a website or in a bottle, or then you can't progress, can you?
What was it like making that very first sale? Was it like, yes, this is going to work? Or was it like, oh,
I remember ringing Jodie like, oh my God, we had the first one was
panic.
crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was for a few cents, wasn't it? And the customer, bless her, was so patient because we'd advertised it, but we'd made samples of it, but we'd not actually created enough to bottle. We didn't even have a payment system set up. And I remember being like, I just want to spend some money with you. Being like, I'm really trying. And we got it out, and then it used to be like really exciting every time you at pudding, you'd be like, oh, Houndsy's going out again. But it took a while, didn't it?
Yeah, I remember the first show we did was a fun fun dog show sort of thing where they have like, it was more of an owner than dog groomers.
Yeah.
We put our gazebo up and we sat there for like 8 hours in the rain, and we sold one bottle. So I think it was like we'd taken $9.95 and it cost us 15 quid to be there, and we had to buy all the stuff and the tables. And we kind of looked at each other and thought, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
is this a bit silly? Have we done not the wrong thing, but is this going to be a thing for this market? And then
I think we've all got stories like that. There's a picture that comes up on my Facebook memories many years ago, because my son was like 4 years old, and he's got an umbrella and ice cream in his hand, and we were again at a local dog show, sort of advertising our pet grooming business, and it was just pouring with rain for the whole day. And like you said, you don't get anything from it, but it's having that resilience, isn't it? And doing it and getting out there.
And knowing that no other show would ever be as bad as that. It could not get any worse than that, I don't think. And it didn't, did it?
Nope. The next show we did was the one I booked us, the show in Aldershot, the Groomers Market.
Yeah.
And Dawn, and I booked it because I think I saw her advertising it on Facebook. So like, right, I'm going to book us a show. So we booked it. No, didn't have any idea.
No idea where it was. So we're in Manchester, and it's an Aldershot. It's like 4 hours away.
And so we trundled down, didn't we?
And that was
in the morning. That was the first time when it was like, whoa.
Actually, this people are going to like these products. It was quite. I remember coming away from that feeling equally excited, but quite overwhelmed in like, wow, because I think your natural expectation for me, and maybe I could be quite negative, is that everything's going to be very difficult, everything's going to be very hard, and so when people come and just buy your products, which is what you should be doing, you feel maybe it's like a bit of imposter syndrome. You feel like
someone's going to call you out. Yeah,
like, oh, when is it going to stop? When is it that these orders are just going to dry up and that'll be us? But it's not like that at all.
I think as time goes on, like I said, you get through that, don't you? Think actually it's no imposter syndrome.
Yeah, like
people love the product, people love the service, and I think you start to have a bit more confidence, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
I think also for me, because I'd use them in the salon, so I've got hands-on experience with what it is, but
I do use them at home quite a lot. They have a very multi-purpose. My daughter loves Snow Angel shampoo in the bath. It's her favourite bubble bath. We've used it for washing before now. I ran out of washing powder. It's very multi-purpose.
So you went from your little dog show where you sold £9.95 bottle of shampoo, and then when did you hit Crufts? What was Crufts like a big, like, take a breath and like, oh my God, we're going to do this?
Yeah, the first Crufts we did with Philippa and Dawn. Like, I absolutely love Philippa and Dawn.
From Move Over Over.
I think they're two of my favourite people. And they really sort of, after the Aldershot show, they took us under the wing a little bit, didn't they? And said I'm allowed to say this, but we sort of jibbed on the end of their Crufts table, and we had one table and we had 15 cents, and that was it. And we actually managed, when we packed up, to pack it in a bolo wagon and a piano mover, and we traipsed it to the car. And we did really well, didn't we? For us, we did really well. And we thought, oh, this is good. So when the next Crufts came around, it was the first proper one after COVID, and we were like, right, we need our own stall, and that was really humbling, wasn't it? To see like that we'd gone from this tiny table to our own stand, and people were queuing to have our products. So that was incredible, wasn't it?
It was the run up to Crufts was a stressful time. So obviously we had orders coming in and things are ticking over. doing really well, but having to pay £3,000-4,000 for the stall and the stock up front, and because you don't know what to expect, you don't know whether you're going to take a fortune's worth of stock and come back with it all, or we really didn't know what we were going to face, and we got there and it was absolutely incredible. And we left with next to nothing, and then got home thinking, oh my God,
we need to replace all this now.
Yeah.
I've got my goal for Crufts is to have, you know, because Crufts is like a whole week, isn't it, for trade stands, you know, but my goal is, you know, I just rock up on a Thursday morning. Here's my pass. My stand's all set up for me. You know, a bit like a band would. The rodeos have been in. They've sorted it all out. They've got everything up and working. Done all my brochures. That's my goal. Maybe one day I'll have someone come and set all these shows up for me. But
I would pay good money for that. I think. Well, for us, it's about 7 hours, isn't it, from start to finish?
Painful. I remember this Crufts. It was we'd had the Luton van. We had these big trolleys carting stock back and forth, and my mum was helping us, weren't she?
Yeah.
And I remember sat putting bottles on a shelf, shivering. I was like, "You okay?" She's like, "I can't feel my fingers." Like, I'm trying to think we're gonna have to go soon.
Yeah.
It was the longest, coldest.
It's always raining.
yeah, it's snowing, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's never nice when you're setting up for a show, a big show like that. Never.
They're always running through the rain and snow and wind. Yeah. And it was because they have the big shutters open, don't they? So the wind was blowing through. It was so cold. It was,
But
and then
great.
we got back to the hotel. It's like we've not even started yet. We've still got full Crufts to do.
It's a tiring experience, and you're always probably going to forget your high vis vest as well.
Oh yeah. Always.
The first year,
Sam, if you know Sam, he always wears flip flops. He never wears shoes. He's just never has. Punk foot prisons don't like him. Come winter or summer, he's in flip flops, and he had an argument with one of the security members because he didn't have proper shoes on, which is right because you're moving all this heavy stuff.
They never told me.
So now we have his work trainers which stay with our club stuff and they come with us.
They make all the difference, don't they?
Yeah.
So there must have been a point in the Houdsly where you thought, right, where were you making your products and stuff? Was it like a cottage industry? Were you in your kitchen, like bottling and labeling?
Started in a bedroom in your house and the conservatory in my house, and that became the Houdsly office. And we had that for a little while, and then that got quite hazardous because it was so full and there was stuff everywhere that we had to then make the jump to get. Was it a 1,200 square foot unit? It's really small, wasn't it?
400
square foot unit. So we moved into that, and that felt like a huge deal because you've got rent and rates and bills to pay, and Sam's very easy going with it all. He's like, it'll be fine, and I'm the panicker. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to afford to sustain the business and be in a premises? And actually moving out of the house is a bit tricky because I was always at home with the kids. I could do school very easily. I was there. So actually then having to physically go out is the best thing we've ever done. Yeah. But that was quite, the balance was shifting, and it's quite tricky that.
And that was the point where you had to give up your job.
Yeah, I had to quit my job.
What was that like? What was that? Was it a leap? Was it a jump? Or was it a transition?
I'd say just it felt like a massive jump. It felt like, again, I think just must be my way of thinking. I thought, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go and look for another job. So like, this isn't gonna continue. And Sam's always like, but it is. So on with it. And then I do, and it's always fine. But it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
The best thing,
And you didn't enjoy what you were doing. It was just, it paid the bills, didn't it? So to be something that you actually enjoyed and you're passionate about, you saw the difference in you.
Yeah, it got to the point where like I'd work 3 days a week at my office job. So I'd get up at 5 a.m. and I'd fill orders and get ready and leave for work at 8:30, 8:15. Then I'd get back at 5. You know, the kids had stuff they needed to do, place they needed to be. Do tea time, then about 8, half 7, 8, I'd start again, and I'd work through till midnight, and that would be for them 3 days. And it just got to the point where I was poorly all the time, and I was just saying, what are we doing? We seem to get to these stages where we can't sustain what we're doing without change. And it's always happened quite organically, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's always, we've always got to the point where it was like, we're either going to plateau and this is where we're going to stay, or we need to take it to the next level and make a change. So it was quite a relief, actually.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah, you I suppose you kind of you strangle your business in a way, like working from home, and then you made that change. Then right, the next step, I'm strangling it because of me. So you've then like opened up more hours that you can give to it, and there are natural progressions, aren't they? But it takes a lot to one, recognize that, but then also take that risk, because it's always a risk, isn't it?
And it's although it's nerve-wracking, it's quite exhilarating, isn't it? When you look back at you've done it, and I always feel like it's when you ride your bike and you take your stabilizers off and you're wobbling, but you're managing it, and that's how I always feel. I feel like actually we've done it. Stabilizer going.
With after we were in that unit for a year, I think, something like that, just under a year. And our landlords came and said, you obviously need a bigger unit, don't you? Like, yeah, we do, because
we spilled out to the outside of the unit.
That was them saying, clean your shit up.
Outside,
we'd start off with like one barrel outside, then it'd be two barrels, and then it turns like a bit of a walkway. And then they were like, I think you need to go.
And I thought they were going to say, you need a bigger unit. We've got this one for you. Or would you like this one? It's like, you need a bigger unit and we need that one back. So you need to be out by October. And we were both like...
We had three weeks essentially to get out.
That was probably the most stressful week of Houdsly for me, though. It was,
but again,
the trying to find the other unit,
but it came quite organically. Like we'd now then moved to Staley Bridge, and we'd seen the advert for the unit, so we went to see it. And as we got there, our old landlord, who was lovely, had already rang the mill we're in now to say, have you still got that space available? I've got this company called Houdsly who need a bigger space. And she was like, oh, they've just arrived, like they've just come. And when we walked in that, we were like, my goodness, because it's like, how big is it now?
Like 3,500 square feet now.
Which we've managed to fill.
I was going to say, we walked in, we thought, God, we're going to have space for years.
Space for days, Might have a seating area for a coffee.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I was just going back to what you were saying about the risk and stuff, and I was watching a bit of SAS Who Dare Wins over breakfast this morning, and they said something on there which resonated with me, was like, you know, if you don't fail, if you don't face your fears and fail, you don't learn. So all the way through what you're doing, you're going to be like, we're sort of highlighting the great times, but there's going to be times where you've gone like, it hasn't worked, and you've learned and moved on, isn't there?
And times where you are, especially like in the beginning, or scrambling about to think, right, we need to introduce new products, but you need money to invest in that product. And we've always been quite careful with sort of how we trying to keep all the money in the business to finance it from ourselves, you know, rather than having the pressure of loans and stuff like that, our investors. And it's peaks and troughs, isn't it?
Like this year we had earlier this year was a difficult time. We had two of our family members pass away in the space of about 10 days, and it was just that was so difficult because obviously with family, so they both our family, we didn't have any staff that could come in and help. The only other person who used to work is my mum and my dad sometimes, and obviously they just lost their sister and dad. It was a really difficult time, and I suppose every dog groomer goes through this time when you're self-employed, when you're sick, or when something like that happens, or when something happens to your own dog, where they don't have the backup of sick pay, or they don't have that security of some other staff going in and doing their job for a while. And that was really difficult to try and get yourself back into it to do it, because
if we're not doing it, nobody else is. It's us too, and my mum does not possible.
And it's hard, isn't it? And it, you know, being a company out there on the internet and everything, people don't see this story, the backstory behind it all, and they might not understand what's going on. You know, they might be expecting email replies and orders, and it's like.
To say though, at that time, we did sort of put it out on social media what was going on,
Just try
because
to be as open.
try and be as
honest.
open and say, like, our granddad was poorly and he died very quickly, and then we'll get back on top of orders. And then it happened with my auntie 10 days later, and we did have the best customers, to be fair. Everybody was, I think, because we are quite open, we are quite honest on social media. If we're struggling, if we're stuck, and I'd say we're quite friendly, aren't we? We do have really good relationships with our customers. Everybody, to be fair, was the most supportive, I think.
Were the messages from people.
Yeah, and
people offering to come and help.
Yeah,
help pack, help if we need anything, they'll come down. It was really heartwarming, which is was so lovely at a time like that. Because it can be quite, when you're self-employed, it can be quite a lonely place, kind of, especially a lot of dog groomers work on their own, and to go through the stresses of being self-employed and the financial stress that comes with the illness, or you break your wrist or something, like the stress of that, and to not have anyone to sort of give you the pep talk to get you back on your game can be. It's what I suppose the Facebook groups are so handy for people, aren't they? Because having that community of people that.
Were you sort of propping each other up? Like one would have a down day and the other one would be like, right, come on, and then vice versa?
You're good at, when you're feeling like that, Jodie can get her head down, get it done, distract yourself for a while.
I'm very good at compartmentalising it also. If I'm feeling sad, I'll give myself an hour and then I've got to crack on. I've got to get on with the day.
And you were good at that, and that helped sort of get me back into things.
Because Sam, when his focus isn't on it, if something's happened, your focus is gone, isn't it? And he needs, difficult. And it's supposed why we work so well. We know each other inside out. We know he knows when I'm not feeling it. I know when he's not feeling it. I know when I need to say, listen, you need to get your bugging gear, let's go. And equally,
they're not the words you use.
We're very polite.
So what does a day in the life of Houdsly, what's that like? Are you in at sort of 9 o'clock, or do you swan in at 12 o'clock and
I am a get up early, get into work, get it done kind of person. You generally grooming, aren't you, in the morning, but Thursday, Fridays when he's not, I'm normally here. You come in, and it is never a 9 to 5, because it might be some, like the past few weeks, my days have been 8 till 8. They have been my husband having to do all the childcare parts of it, having to run everyone to the groups he needs to go to, and me just being here getting stuff done. Equally, it's nice sometimes when you get in, I can get in for 7 and I'll have everything packed and I can go home and do all my admin from home, and I quite like that.
So when you're in the your setup here, you are literally fulfilling orders. You are packing orders and then shipping them out. So you're still very much hands-on.
Yeah, every order that goes out, it's generally me. My mum does help when we're really busy or if we're away. I make everything. He makes everything. We bottle it between us and then we ship it. So everything we have just, which is quite exciting, but again, nerve-wracking, because we're just sort of expanding our fulfillment. So we're going to have people help us pack orders and send them out, and giving people more option on sort of delivery companies they use, because we've had a few issues with that. But this has been my bit of the business that I now have to relinquish a bit of control, so I can get on with the email and the marketing and the new products and the growth. And
again, because it's a little bit like me, I suppose. I'm still doing all the sales calls, I'm still doing all the talking, the chats, but you can only get to so far, can't you, on your own without them putting in that extra help.
And customer service for me is the biggest thing. Like, I hate terrible customer service, and the feeling in my stomach I get when sort of we've not maybe replied to an email fast enough, or I've missed an email, which is like, we're only humans, only 2 of us. Sometimes it happens, or you think I'll reply to that in a minute, and then it's been a week. And the last thing that I'd want is for everyone to say that they take your money and they're not bothered, because that's not what we're about. So I'm excited to get a bit more control over that again, and make sure that, we've got a great ambassador team, haven't we, that we can't wait to announce, and even just getting more involved with them, I can't wait for that. But at the minute, it's just because I think when you're self-employed and you can sort of reach everyone over Facebook quite easily, the working hours, the 9 to 5 working hours go out the window. So equally, like, I love the fact that I can answer customers whenever I want, but sometimes you want a family day. I want a day where on a Sunday I can just shut off a little bit and enjoy, seeing the kids and being with my husband. But it's very, very difficult to do that, I think, this day and age with social media. Yeah.
It's such a draw, it's such a draw to see what's going on. And I said to my clients yesterday, they sometimes struggle with other services with like time replies and stuff. I said, well, I do spoil you a little bit, I'm always on it. I'm always like, and I'm the worst, we always talk about boundaries and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, reply to that or sort this, and I'll just do that. And
if there's a problem, I want it sorted. It will weigh on if someone's got the wrong order or something's, which does happen, or if something's ruined in transit. The last thing I'd want is for a customer to think, oh, they've packed it, they've sent it, they're not bothered, because that's not who we are at all. And it will panic me until I've dealt with it. So I'd bring it on myself, I'd say. It'll set any boundaries, because it's just not.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, because that's what we'd expect and what we like, that's what you set the bar very, very high for customer service, which obviously is brilliant, but you put yourself under a lot of stress with it, don't you?
Yeah.
But
I don't know how else to be.
That's just I don't think. Brilliant. I think it's brilliant.
It shows in your success as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You wouldn't be in that massive warehouse now if your customer service was poor.
Exactly. And I think that's something, because of how busy it's got I'd say the last 3-4 months, we're at that stage again where if something's got to change, because it's not sustainable as it is, because we're going to either end up burnt out, or the shipping times are getting longer, which we don't like, because we physically don't have enough hours in the day to make. And so that's why we've expanded the team. And we're also going to be able to offer like order by 3 p.m. for next day delivery, things like that, which I think is really important. The things that we highlight now as what we think the issues are. Which we're really excited about, because it's nice to please people, isn't it? when you get that message through saying, can't believe how fast it's come, thank you, absolutely love it. It's the best in the world. When your app pings and you've got a review, and it's just incredible, isn't it?
It's definitely.
Yeah. So we've got to get to know you two, the faces behind Houdsly. But what sort of products are you offering? What products are out there with your name on them?
So at the minute so sorry, let me just go and turn the compressor off. So sorry.
This is a day in the life of Houdsly. This is what Houdsly's like. Very haphazard. So we do the shampoos, and we launched a conditioner, which has done amazing. We do perfumes. I think we're on about 28 cents now. We've got the Christmas range that we are just launching with the festive. So we do like a festive fragrance pack.
Kind of like an all stars this year. We've got all the best selling ones from the last 4 years back.
We've added another one. Because I mean, this is my getting prepped for Christmas. For me, starts early because I just love it. And again, I feel like this year I've had to do it in a bit of a rush because I've not had the same time. So I'm looking forward to having that time to put back into it. We launched the pumpkin spice latte shampoo, didn't we? And that has done amazing.
Is this for groomers to drink, or actually to use the pumpkin spice latte shampoo?
Well, it's pumpkin spice latte, isn't
it? So that's the shampoo. We've got the de-shedding shampoo. It's been is the #1 seller across the whole website. It's just crazy. That and Dynamite, which is a speed dry spray. Them two are the best selling products, because like I said, when it comes to a dog groomer's life, time's money. If you can save 20 minutes drying a dog, and you can do that 5 times in a day, that's an extra dog you can get in, or an early finish.
Or go home early,
early finish.
But the Houdsly USA, which is, we've got a business partner over in America, Josh, and he does basically what we do here. So taught him how to make everything, taught him, been over and showed him how to do the shampoo, and they've just launched the shampoo in America. So that's now available on HoudslyUSA.com. And then we have just been over to Portugal, where we've got another business partner, Jenny, who's doing Houdsly in Europe. Obviously now with Brexit and the shipping and it was a nightmare, wasn't it?
It's
So,
an absolute nightmare trying to ship. We've
Yeah.
tried to ship some samples over to Jenny, and I think it's on its third time it's come back to us because something's not right. And I've just said, can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not coming.
We went on holiday to France, and we'd left some quite important medical supplies at home. And so we said to the house sitter or my neighbour, could you just grab that, chuck it on a UPS delivery, and UPS and they said they'd get it out to us, and we'd come home 3 weeks before it got delivered. So we'd actually come home, and then 3 weeks later they delivered it to the house in France that we were staying at.
UPS didn't even bother to come and pick it up. They must have looked at the two flights of stairs they'd have to get up, and then looked at the package and just they didn't even bother picking it up.
So how did you get your head round, dare I say it, Brexit and all the rules? Did you even try, or did you just go, no, I'm just going to find a business partner out there?
We did sell a fair bit to parts of Europe. Like we had I wouldn't say a big customer base, but we definitely had demand out there.
Yeah.
So when all that happened and we looked into the paperwork side of it, and it was at a time when we'd grown so much in the UK as well that we didn't really have the time. So it was lucky really that the Jenny who does it in Portugal has moved out there about a year ago. So before it, she was over here with us.
She does shows with us. She did with us. Yeah, she's our cousin, so again it's family. So it's easy to get on with, and she absolutely puts her all into it and has the same sort of thought processes, ideas, what Houdsly is, but she's running it over there for us, which again it has been quite difficult, isn't it? It's the same with America. It's a completely different market. You've got this product that works the way we've done it has worked, so we give that to Josh in America, and it didn't work like we did it. They've had to do it a completely different way, which we weren't expecting. Marketing and
you have to sense as well, because what our sense of it, like rhubarb and custard and flump are like nostalgic for us,
but over there didn't mean a thing.
They want sausage and syrup. Bacon and
Cinnabon, that does one of our best sellers is Cinnabon, and they love that. But rhubarb and custard, they were like, oh my gosh, what is that?
Food, is it?
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Like,
and equally in Europe, like the much more into fruitier citrus than the UK.
Yeah,
it's the sweet ones aren't as popular over there.
And I was like, I love all my scents. So I don't understand why anybody else wouldn't. So when he came back and was like, this isn't selling, I was like, nah, you're doing it wrong.
I'll have to have a trip out there and make sure.
We did. We went to Vegas, we
did Super Zoo, which was just incredible, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was the first time we could actually get like hands on the products and face to face without having to ship them over and whatnot. So that was really nice to sort of be part of it physically for the first time, because we'd had hours and hours and hours of Zoom meetings and all that sort of side of it, but we'd not actually been there and being able to stand in America and to give the same sort of talk we do in the UK. Just one of them sort of pinch me moments.
I mean, here's us discussing about you getting a bigger unit. You've gone and broken America and Europe. I mean, hold on. How are you inspired? I mean, have you reached out to business advisors or mentors to help you, or you've just gone out and found people out there and gone, oh, let's give this a go?
Yeah, the really strange story with America is I've got a friend who I've known for years, and one of her friends, Josh, he used to be a security guard, and he toured like Backstreet Boys and Justin Timberlake and security, and he wanted to do something else other than touring with MB, because you can't be security forever. And she was like, I've told him about Houdsly and he's really interested, so she set up a meeting between us. And we just got chatting from there. And again, I wanted everything done, like get on with it. And Josh is very much like Sam, like take our time. So, and it's really showing like the communication, both speak English, but actually there was so many instances where things did not translate.
Yeah.
And we'd get off a call and think, I need to just confirm that. I need to just explain what I meant by this. Like, so it's been a massive learning curve for us all, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
again, Josh has the similar values to us. He loves Houdsly. He loves, and then I can't honestly speak for the whole America, but where we're selling, recycling and stuff like that is not a big thing over there. It's the things that we really promote over here that we're really proud of being sustainable. They're like, oh yeah, that's great, but what sense have you got? Like, they're not. It was like. They're not that.
There's a little bit of catching up when it comes to the environmental side of it.
Yeah.
Although they do see like the UK standard, like when we say it's formulated in the UK, they go crazy for it because they see our standards of pet products and the laws around it and legislation as like super high compared to them. Whereas obviously I'm absolutely appalled by what the legal side of what can go in pet products. It's absolutely shocking. I suppose in the whole of the industry there's such a lack of regulation, but that's how we feel. But America see it as we've got really high standards. So what goes into American products I wouldn't like to say. But
you're trailblazing out there.
Right.
Hopefully we're getting there. Josh as well is so good. He's a lovely person. He really is. We get on so well with him. It's one of the people where you feel like you've known him your whole life. And he's really good and he's so confident. And he's brilliant at the business side of things. Introducing himself to people.
He will walk into any, because they walk in and sell. It's a lot of that. And he will walk into any groomers. He's got a packet of Houdsly sample products on him at all times. And whereas I'd be stood outside fretting, like, can't do it.
Yeah, Sam pushing you in. Go on, just go inside, introduce yourself.
Stand there.
Actually, I'm a bit similar. There's obviously groomers everywhere. So I do walk past groomers. I think, perhaps I should go in. But then, like, what if they've never heard of me? You've got some weirdo walking into their groomers going, "Hi, I'm Bill from like Passion to Profit." Okay.
When we very first started, we sent samples. We sent samples out, free samples, and I'd been really organised, and I've done letters, and everybody had a different scent, or it was like a group had this scent, a group had that scent. Took it round to Sam's to pack, and they absolutely ruined it. Like no one got the right sample, which was a terrible first impression, but people did like it. Apart from this one groomer who rang me, and I've not put the right postage on it, so he got a bill for £1.
61 pence.
61 pence, and did not open anymore. And he tore into me. And he said, I want a postal order for £1. And I said, I don't know what a postal order is. And he laughed at me and said, you don't know what a postal order is? And then after that, I said, I'm not doing any marketing again. I'm done.
No direct marketing.
He was so cross with me.
I remember you ringing, you're so upset.
I was upset. I was actually at the bridal shop, and a bride just walked in after the phone call, and she was collecting a dress, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no.
It just sweeps you off your feet, doesn't it? It's just like, whoa, where did all that come from? And
yeah, especially when you knew.
The frustrating thing was as well, the groomer that it was lives literally 2 minutes from Jodie's house, so she didn't even need to post it.
I could have just put it through his letterbox. I don't think he would have been cross if he didn't have to pay a pound for it. Anyway, I did go past and pop £1 through his door, and then we were starting. I thought, my conscience.
A £1 coin, take to some dog poo.
If Sam was going to do it, it would have been pennies, but I was very proud of that.
Penny a day, really. The thing, especially when it's family, don't shout at my family. My mum, when we had to hold my mum back, she'd have been in there.
Yeah.
But
so what does your mum make of it all? Did she ever like? So quite often we talk to family members. Obviously, your mum's in the industry, and we get quite a little bit of fear. We get a little bit like, "Oh, are you sure it's going to work?" And "Oh, I don't know about this." And what's your family? Because obviously you are family. What have they all sort of said about this?
We're actually my dad's self-employed. Has been for since I was about 14, so about 20 odd years. My mum was self-employed for a good long amount of time, and a lot of our wider family self-employed.
Yeah.
So having our own business has never really been a worry as such. Like, we're very much a go for, because that's all we've grown up with.
Yeah.
I think my mum was amazed, wasn't she, about how big it's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, she gave me the sort of the to get it done, because she said, you'll be bored of it in a couple of weeks. And out of your spite. Yeah, I thought, no, not now. With this, thank you. Yeah, so out of just pure spite, really, I thought, no, I'm going to make something of this. And then before we knew it.
And then he got me involved in that. Now you can't not, because I'm either him. I know where it is.
That's it. And then obviously you got kids yourself, so maybe there's a succession plan there for Houdsly in the years to come.
My daughter, she does a lot of gymnastics, so she said that she's going to be a gymnast, and then she's going to work at Houdsly, and then she's going to be a normal person like me. I'm not quite sure how to take that, but she quite liked it. And she has a Houdsly t-shirt, she loves it.
Oh, yes,
so yeah, maybe. My nephew, he's a really keen footballer, and he said he's not going to be a footballer, he's going to come and work at Houdsly.
There you go. And this is what I say to my clients, you know, you not only are you doing well for yourselves, but you're inspiring those generations and inspiring those people around you, because that your attitude and what you do kind of rolls down like subconsciously, as well as how talking and doing stuff like this.
I think for me, like, I've always had when we had the bridal shop, it was very much I could work my own hours, and we'd be at the shop, but I'd always be there for the kids. And then as this has got busier, I've been very aware of going to shows, being away for the weekend, which initially I used to get very upset over, but now...
Oh yeah, she'd be crying when we picked her up, and then we'd hit the motorway and she'd be fine. But
now I love it. I absolutely love going. I love just being me and being Hounsly. But I was very conscious that every time my daughter would say, where are you going? I said, I'm going to a show. And she'd say, I don't want you to go. And I'd say, but I need to go and make pennies so we can do nice things. And it got to a point where I was a little bit like, I don't want her to think that what I'm doing is just about money, because one, I probably think very deeply about this, but I don't want her to think I'm leaving her to go make money and that's it. So we sort of said, like, we explained to her, you know, you do a lot of gymnastics and dance and you love it and you work hard for it. That's exactly what Mummy does with Hounsly. Like, that's her thing that her and Sam have built and we love and we enjoy. And we've got to go away to put all our effort into it. And since I've explained that to her, she doesn't get upset anymore. She gets it. She understands why, you know, we spend a few weekends away a year at shows or into Portugal or Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
But she gets it. And my son's 14, so he completely understands.
Yeah.
Swindles me out of $5 an hour for filling sample bottles all the time.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because you think of the shows coming up. So we've got one in November, haven't we? The grooming awards and stuff. And I was thinking, you know, me and Emma could go together, but who'd look after the kids and who'd look after the children? And there's remembrance parades for their clubs, and it just like that gets very stressful then, doesn't it?
It is, and finding a balance. I think if you're self-employed or you work for someone else, the balance is, the guilt's always there. The balance is tricky, but I think showing them what we can do, you know,
instilling that working
class, is
a big thing.
A really good thing for them.
Yeah.
And I can say to them, I'm not coming in today because I'm going to go to assembly, or I'm going to come and do school hours because I'm going to do pick up. And I think that for me is the biggest thing. I hated sort of being told when I could go for my lunch.
Missing Ida's awards.
Yeah, like missing Ivy and Jacob's assemblies, or I hate this is it works perfectly for us.
Yeah. I think it's got to a point as well when you get more confident in yourself and what you're doing, and you can say, no, I'm going to do this and we'll make it work business wise. Because what's the point of being self-employed if you can't choose your own hours, and if you can't.
I said the exact same thing this morning to a lady who I was talking to, and she's working Saturdays, had a 2-year-old son, and I was like, do you want to work Saturdays? She's like, why do you do it? She's like, well, you know, customers. What's the point of being self-employed? What's the point of being a business owner if you can't decide your hours?
You don't work Saturdays.
No, we used to always work Saturdays. We used to have Sunday, Mondays off, which is a pain because people say, oh, we're doing this on Saturday. Do you want to come to this barbecue on Saturday? Do you want to go here on Saturday? Or should we go away for the weekend? It's like, no. Well, if you give me enough notice, I can And it was just, it got to a point where it's so controlled. I felt I was missing out on so much. So I just said, we'll just have to stop. So we stopped doing the Saturdays, and we did Monday to Thursdays for a while. And we lost a few customers, but I'd say my life is so much better for it from not working the Saturday. And obviously the customers that left, it opened up space for the new customers.
Yeah.
So it was the best thing that we did for a long while. Now it's obviously that busy with Houdsly. It's just the 3 days there, the Monday to Wednesday, and people and with that I thought again, is it going to be an issue for people? And a few people it was, but we have some people now who'll booking in school holidays because they take the time off the kids. People work around it. If they want to come to you, they will do, and if they don't, then it's just another opportunity to get a new customer in.
Yeah, and think about how many people are out there. You know, we always dwell on that one person, don't we? But there's with your extensive network now in America and Europe, there's millions of people that you're going to be working with. Well, I think we'll end it on that really positive note, and I think we've also got to remind everyone who are out there self-employed and they might be feeling a little bit like, oh, why am I doing this? But you're all inspiration, aren't you? You're all inspiration to your friends, families, and people around you, and that's part of the reason why you do it. So I
think anybody who's brave enough to take that step and be self-employed and go for it's incredibly brave and incredibly daunting, but definitely if you can do it, you've got, and you take that step, you've got something about you to do it. So just about finding the right network and finding.
We speak to a lot of people at shows, don't we?
Yeah.
And they either just training or they're just starting up, and you can see the nerves in the face. And it's like, as long as you do what you know, you trust your instincts, you're yourself with the customers. So at the end of the day, the grooming the dog's a very small part of it. If the customer trusts you, if they like you, if you get on with them, that's the whether or not you do the best cut in the world on the dog or you just keep the dog comfortable, the owner's coming back because they trust you with something that's really important to them. And it's like, just be yourself and don't worry too much about it, because if you enjoy what you do and they see you enjoying yourself, you'll have no problems.
Half the battle.
Like, don't think about this week, think about where you're going to be in the year. Like, I think people really overestimate what they can do in a really short amount of time. Like, they'll think I can do all this, but then they underestimate what they can do in a year.
Yeah, definitely.
Take a picture. It takes a bit of the stress off sometimes, rather than worrying about how you're going to make ends meet right now. Think.
Yeah, and I always talk about lifting your vision. We're so much in the trenches all the time, thinking about where's next sale. Well, like my mentor Robin was like, where's the next 100 sales coming from? Where's the next 6 months looking like? 12 months. So important. So this podcast does go out internationally. So tell everyone where they can get your products if they're in the UK, US, and Europe.
So the UK, houdsly.co.uk. If you're in Europe, it's houdsly.pt, and anywhere in America, it's houndslyyusa.com.
Nice.
Well, if you go to any of the websites, we can always point you in the right direction. But we're also on Facebook and Instagram, and we're starting to push the TikToks now as well, so you can get a bit of an insight into what it's like in the Houdsly world.
It's going to be showing you like bottling and putting stuff together, not just dancing on TikTok and doing.
It sounds like we have these really big barrels that get delivered, and Sam comes up with all these content like ideas, and it always ends with, and then you just pop out of the barrel. I'm not getting in a barrel. Not happening.
You're going to turn up to a show one day, and you'll be sat holding this barrel down the hill, and Jodie pops out.
So Jodie will make good content. You don't care about the content.
I'm not getting involved.
I think if enough people ask for it, I do think you can be convinced.
Hashtag Jodie in a barrel. Let's get that trending.
There we go. So
thanks, Sam. Thanks, Phil.
I just think Breaking Bad all the time. When you talk to people with like all this machinery and bats and chemicals and stuff.
When we used to get stuff delivered, I used to think, God, I wonder what people like. I wonder what they think we're making.
If you start getting big laundry machines and stuff,
then you know.
Yeah. And what's the next show you're going to be at?
We're at the oldest shop, Groomers Market in the 29th of October.
Yeah.
And then we're at the International Grooming Conference in
Yeah.
November. We're there for the Saturday, Sunday.
Then grooming show in January, and then Crofts.
Yeah.
Start all over again. Crofts applications are out today.
We've
Yes.
just done it. We've literally just been like, let's get it done, get it in.
This year's a bit of a double whammy as well, though, because we've got Crofts, so that's is it the 7th to the 10th this year.
Mhm.
So then we're back on the 11th, and then Portugal's got Madrid's got a really big show. It's like a similar size to Crofts. I think it's about 20,000 people that go, and that's on the 13th to the 16th. So we're going to be at Crofts. We get set up on the 6th. There 7th, 8th. Is it
9th and 10th.
yeah, 9th, 10th, back home on the 11th, flying out on the 12th to meet Jenny over in Madrid to set up for the so it's going to be
It's gonna be a crazy month, March. You'd think March would be quiet, wouldn't you? But not for the grooming industry.
In the grooming industry.
yeah.
But remember that goal. Everything gets set up for you, and you just walk in and go, right, where is everyone?
Well, 1 year, Bill, we'll walk in, we'll high five as we go in and just go to our stand when it's done.
Yeah. Everything's been done beforehand.
Yes.
Or I'll FaceTime you from the beach in Greece.
You're on a beach, I'm on a beach. There'll be no FaceTiming.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's been lovely catching up with you. I love doing these.
So much. It's been lovely.
I love doing these, getting the behind the business, the faces behind the business. So thanks for coming on. And,
Lovely.
I'll see you in October.
Fantastic.
We'll see you soon.
See you later. Thank you.